Namaste.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, howdy, welcome to the show.
Yeah, we're not in Hawaii.
Welcome to South Carolina.
Yeah, we used to
In the
start
country.
every episode with aloha, but we have moved.
Yes. Welcome to the Inner Work Podcast.
I'm Ash.
And I'm Matt.
We're the yoga couple. And this is my first episode recording with you in about a year. I looked back.
Yes, because the last episodes were with just me and Finn. You were watching Atreyu. So we have not been together on the podcast since before birth.
Yeah.
And ironically, the last podcast we talked about was wounded distrust and fear. And the biggest fear, of course, being we were about to head into labor.
Yeah. So on this podcast, we are excited to share our birth story, our postpartum journey, and how the last 10 months have been since having a baby.
Yeah, and they have been it's been quite the roller coaster of events. There's so much to say, and where are we going to start with I guess the timeline? So
well, I figured we'd start with just going all the way back to why we decided to even have a baby.
All the way back.
Yeah, we waited 12 years to have a baby together. We've been together for about 12 years. I think we had a baby at 11 years, or we got pregnant at 11 years.
Yeah,
so I think it's important to talk about the decision, because we were kind of on the cusp with our age. We're 35, we're each 35, of are we going to do this or not? Are we going to have a kid or not? Mm-hmm. And it was like this pivotal moment of, yeah, we've been child-free for this long. We've been, married 10 years. Like, we could either continue on this journey of remaining child-free, or we can make a massive change and decide to have a family. And we spent, I think, a few years really talking about it, going back and forth, contemplating it. I remember when we were in India, it was coming up a lot. And I remember I think it was on that trip, like maybe it was like 2023 or 2022 or something like that. And we decided, let's try to get pregnant. Like, maybe not here in India, but like we will start going for it. Like, I remember you specifically wanted a Libra baby. So I think the time that we were there, we would have had to try like right then. And then you were like, well,
I feel like we're rushing it.
Yeah. So then we waited like a year and
then it was really interesting because we got home from that particular trip. Was that the second trip?
Yeah.
Or is it the first one?
Yeah, second trip.
So we got home, and then there was a whole timeline of like, we did try to be really conscious and try to get pregnant. And then we did sort of, but then it was like a premature miscarriage. Pregnancy. Yeah, it was like a confusing experience. And then I think after that, it was a little bit like, it kind of weirded us out. It was like a little emotional. So then, and that would not have been a Libra baby. That was like June or something. Mm-hmm. And so then I think we just kind of put it on pause for like 6 more months. Then I think then it gave us a lot of time to process. It gave a lot of time to think about it again. We totally gave up. We were like, no, we're not going to do this anymore.
I don't think we said we weren't going to do it anymore.
Or I guess, what would we describe that? We just kind of didn't talk about it. We just kind of didn't, it wasn't really a thing anymore. We weren't like, let's try to get pregnant again this month.
No, we just stopped not preventing it. Like, we were like, if it's meant to happen, it will.
We were just kind of like, we're like, whatever about it. But we weren't tracking ovulation. We weren't being serious.
Yeah.
Then I think, the January-ish time rolled around, and then I was like, oh, this would be a Libra baby for sure. So I was like, it's going to happen. We're going to do this.
Okay. So let's get into why we decided to even try and go for it. 'Cause it was a really big decision. So the reason why we wanted a Libra baby is because we're both Libras and we thought that would be really cute. And we're both dragons.
That was a surprise.
Yeah. And then we ended up having Atreyu on a dragon year. So the three of us are 3 Libras and 3 dragons.
Yeah.
And this is not the reason we decided to have children, but this is a cute side effect of us deciding to have a child at the time we did.
Yeah. And then in human design, I'm a manifestor, he's a manifestor. Yeah. So
it feels
it's super trippy.
Yeah. Like divine. It's like, oh, this is
so cute. Went into labor the night of my birthday. And if things would have went normal, he might have even been born on my same birthday, which is a trip, but he was born 2 days later.
So for you, when we were talking about this, why why did you lean toward, obviously you decided like to go for it. So what was that internal journey for you? Like as a man, why did you want to have a kid?
Yeah, I think we're a little weird on this regard because I don't think I have any of the typical reasons. I didn't really have any urge, I didn't really feel like attached to like the ego things of it, like the family and like the legacy and my like my child, you know what I mean? Like I didn't really attach to it that way. I think that the real reason for me was I felt like the path we were on was just going to be like a life of pleasure. It was just going to be like a life of comfort and pleasure because we were just so free and just we had created this beautiful life that it started to feel like I was imagining like 10 more years of that or 20 more years of it or 40 more years of it. And I think I just could sense that we were going to get really bored.
So for some context, let's give a little bit of context.
Yeah.
We got to a place financially where we were, very well off.
Yeah, and we cleared all of our debts.
Yeah.
We paid everything. Like we felt like
we could pay off our house. We felt like
retired.
We felt retired. Yeah.
Yeah.
We make a living passively from our book sales, so it kind of feels like we have this great passive income. And then it was just the two of us and our cats in Hawaii.
It just felt like, like effortless to maintain. How about we put it that way?
Yes.
It just felt like it wasn't challenging.
Right. And that sounds very beautiful. We know how privileged we are. Like it was such a beautiful time. We spent several years in that energy and that flow of like really feeling like, wow, we did it. Because we went through, if you guys have been listening to this podcast, we've gone through a lot of hardship. We've, done a lot of healing work. We've pushed ourselves in our careers and our dreams. And
we've had like nothing and lived in a 12 by 12 and like,
and we had this moment of like, wow, we made it. And we were enjoying that really. Like it was so beautiful. And it kind of went on for so long that all we were doing was kind of just like going to the
permanent
beach,
vacation,
hanging out, going to resorts, traveling, and just like literally chilling. Like every day, we had nothing to do every day.
I think another thing we were saying this morning is it was just like pure love and romance.
Yeah.
It was just like complete, just like love.
It reminds me.
Just like love vibe. And that's all we were doing is going to vacation, being in love, doing romantic things, like making love, like just everything was love, 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 and romance.
It reminds me of the Inception movie where they're like in their dream world together. Yes. And the girl eventually like goes crazy because it's like it's so like blissful and perfect and they're just like in their own little fantasy world. I feel like we had that for several years. It was just the two of us in this like alternate reality where like literally we didn't know what day of the week it was. It didn't matter what day of the week it was. Like I know it sounds so amazing and it was. And then eventually we like got ready for something different.
Yeah. So to go back to what I was saying is I felt like we were going to get bored, but I think a more precise way to put it is I knew deep down, like as much as I was attached to how easy and beautiful it was, I knew that we were going to spiritually plateau. That's what it was for me. I was like, this is a plateau growth wise.
Totally.
And I was like, I think I will regret 10 years from now or 20 years from now when we can't have children anymore. And like, we've been doing this whole lifestyle for so long. And we're going to look back and say, oh, dude, now the opportunity's over. We can't, we were talking about, well, maybe we'll adopt later. And it's like, you get the point though. It's like, we would have missed that opportunity of going through this whole experience ourselves, having a child. And so I think I just knew we were going to plateau, and I think you did too, of course, because you had already been feeling that way before me. You had already felt that with living in Hawaii and with our lifestyle. I think we both knew we need to take this on as crazy as this is and as unknown as it is. We need to do it.
I literally would wake up every day and say, I feel like we're in a purgatory. Like it's
like an Eden. It's like an Eden purgatory.
Like it just every day was the same.
Yeah.
And there was just like, we literally had nothing to do.
And it doesn't help that literally the weather in Hawaii is the exact same year round pretty much. Yeah.
So we got to a point where we knew, okay, like we made it, we got to the top of the mountain, but like we got to come down now. Yeah. And it really reminds me of the spiritual journey of like enlightenment in a sense. Cause like you get to a certain peak and it's like, there's no growth there anymore. Like once you have certain experiences and realizations, you eventually have to come back down and you can keep all of that with you in your heart and you can hold all that wisdom with you, but you got to return back to society. And I felt like we went on this hero's journey together for, you know, the first 10 years of our relationship. We hit a peak. We totally soaked up that peak and enjoyed it. And then we're like, okay, it's time to come back down and start the next journey. And for us, that was like, okay, let's start a family. And I think I also started craving, a family. I think I felt like our love was so good and we had built such a good foundation together that I started wanting that next thing, which was to like nurture a child, to mentor, to have something beyond us to love. Yeah,
I think also our home life had become so beautiful that you were like, all right, well, if we're gonna have this, like, because I was really into like creating our home and renovating it and making it really nice, and you're like, okay, well, if we're gonna have this beautiful home life, like it's missing a kid, like we need a family in it.
What are we doing here?
And I was like, oh, I didn't realize that. I thought, like, again, I think I was skipping to retirement type of vibe, and it's like, yeah, dude, but like you're in your 30s, like, oh, that's way later.
Yeah.
Like, come on, let's live. And so we took the leap.
I think we knew that there was like this potential.
Yeah, I think we knew it.
Growth for us that we would be dripping ourselves out on just because we had it so easy and we created so much smoothness that we were like, ooh, like, do we want to
really
mess this up? Because it's like, it's so easy. Why would I like go back into struggle and challenge? But like our spiritual practice, we know we're like, because that's what you're here to do. Like you're here to grow and challenge yourself. And like, yes, it's going to be challenging and it's going to be new and it's going to be different, but like who you're going to become in that process is going to be worth it. And you're not going to regret that. So like you got to push yourself and go for it. So I think we both came to this conclusion, and then we kind of left it up to God. We were like, if we're meant to get pregnant, we're going to get pregnant. And if we're not, and we'll accept that. We're not attached. We weren't like, we have to get pregnant. We were like, let's just try. And if it's meant to be, it will totally happen. And if it's not, it won't. And we had that first chemical pregnancy. We thought we were pregnant and then it, failed. And then we tried again, probably 6 months later. And the first time we intentionally tried, we were instantly pregnant that cycle. I remember I didn't get my period. I took a test and it was done. And I think I was a little bit in shock because
I think one of the big differences on my side too is I think I genuinely had this will of we're going to be pregnant now. And I think the first time I didn't really have that. It was just kind of we'll just see.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we really put our intention towards it, it was okay,
it's going to happen.
Happening.
I think I was in shock because like Matt said, neither of us really had that urge to none of us grew up being neither of us grew up saying, I want to be a mom, I want to be a dad. We didn't really think about it until we had been together for 10 years. It wasn't even something that when we were dating or when we got married, that we sat down and were like, hey, do you want a family? We both said we're open to it and also we're okay not. And that was both of our stances from the beginning. We were like, I don't know. Both of us were we're so Libra. We're it could go either way. I don't know. It could go either way. And then after 10 years of being child free, we were it's balance. We were okay, we did this. Now let's do that. And so I think I was in shock because I had spent most of my life not thinking about being a mother. And now all of a sudden I knew I was going to be a mother. And so I was in shock. So when we got pregnant, we had a really beautiful pregnancy. I had a pretty easy pregnancy. I never got sick.
You were worried about a lot of things, but it all ended up being nothing.
Yeah, I didn't end up having any issues.
It was smooth. It was so love saturated. Our life was so love saturated.
I had the best pregnancy. We just
until it's so funny because and then he was born and then
everything changed.
It's polar opposite.
Okay.
So it was so love saturated all the way up to him being born. The labor is where things started to get weird, but we also went through that very beautifully. So what happened there?
We planned a home birth and I always wanted to, have this natural experience of childbirth. And I had kind of a repulsion toward the medical system and having a hospital birth. I was born from a C-section birth. My mom had a very, traumatic
and problematic
pregnancy. She had preeclampsia, and she was in the hospital on bed rest for like, I don't know, half of her pregnancy with me. And there were a lot of complications. I was an emergency C-section. She was 19.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go through any of that. And I had this very strong, like, definitive, I'm going to do this naturally, and I'm going to have this healthy pregnancy, and I'm going to, you know, stay away from this medical system. And I had this belief that the medical system actually like created the problems she was experiencing. And I just didn't want to go through that. So I got a midwife. We were taking the classes. I was reading all of these books, and I was preparing for a home birth. I even got this like stretching device that like helps stretch your vagina to 10 centimeters or 8 centimeters to prepare you for natural labor. And I was like doing all of these crazy things to prepare myself for a natural childbirth. Like I was on it. I was doing like literally I was doing all the positions to flip him into the right position, to make sure that, you know, he would be the right direction. I was doing my diet. I was doing everything. And then contractions started. So I think I was like 38 weeks, like right on schedule. And when contractions started, they immediately were 4 minutes apart.
And we were like, I thought there was supposed to be like a build up to this.
Yeah,
Why
like
is
a couple
it just
hours,
like,
then 30 minutes? No.
And it was like midnight the night
4
of my
minutes
birthday.
apart.
Yeah. So the night of my birthday, midnight, they kick in. They're 4 minutes apart for what, like 4 hours straight?
Or just forever. Like I just thought I'm gonna have this baby like now.
Yeah, and we called the midwife. We were like, she was
fast.
Like, no, it's not happening. We were like, it seems to be happening. Like, this is insane.
She's just like, call me like when they progress, or it was in the middle of the night, so she's like, try to go back to sleep.
We're like, they're 4 minutes apart consistently.
Yeah. So then after a few hours, like I did fall back asleep. They ended. I woke up in the morning, and then this would just happen again and again. It would like in the middle of the day, it would randomly come back again, like 4 minutes apart. And then it would just like disappear for several hours, and then it would come back. And this happened for like 2 days. And I started to like feel just like, is this ever going to happen? This is getting really annoying, because they would come on so strong, but then they wouldn't progress. And then it would completely reverse to like nothing. But like on the last day, so 3 days in, she comes over, she checks me, and she's like, okay, I don't remember how much I was dilated, but
say 3 centimeters or something like that.
I was dilated.
Okay, it is happening. Yeah.
And I remember asking her, I was like, how will I know the difference between if there is a problematic pain versus this is just a natural pain? And she was like, you'll just know, and I'll know. I've been doing this for forever. I had extreme pain, like dead on. Like it was just
from the very beginning,
unbearable pain, like so much pain. And come to find out, he was sunny side up.
Yeah, and
I had back
to
labor.
make it more frustrating, she technically knew that from the beginning that he wasn't in the right position.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people with the home birth mentality are kind of like, whatever it takes to do it natural, you go for it until there's like a survival issue. Whereas for me, even though I didn't want a hospital birth, I also didn't want to experience a traumatic birth. And I had gotten to a place of acceptance, like really closer to labor, that like, if it's going to be super traumatic to have a home birth, like I'll surrender and go to the hospital, because I'd rather not have trauma than risk it just to be stuck in my ways of like, I have to do this naturally. And so I had asked her like, well, how will I know the difference between like, this is dangerous versus this is just a normal pain, you know, like don't freak out. And she just said like, you know, trust your intuition. I think I was trying to be like so yogic through labor that I was enduring a level of pain I should have never endured. Turns to find out, like come to find out, having back labor and him being in the wrong position. He was posterior, and he was upside down, facing the wrong direction. And his skull was, come to find out when I did end up at the hospital, his skull was pressing on my spine. And so it hurt so bad. And eventually got to the point where I had 3 days of contractions, and the night that we thought we were going to have him, she was like, I promise you, like, you're almost there. Like, It had been, I don't know how many hours straight of pushing, or not pushing, but just like contractions every minute.
And you got to 7 centimeters.
Yeah. And she was like, you're 7 centimeters. Like, he's going to come here real soon. You're about to like be in the pushing phase. I don't know. What was that? Like 10 hours in or something?
Yeah. And then for 3 hours of that excruciating final level,
she checked me
she was
again.
like, it's going to happen, I promise. And then after 3 hours of being told that there was no change,
she said, you haven't progressed.
and I was like, that's it, we're done.
Yeah. So to backtrack, she checked me again to see like if I had progressed from 7 to 10, and I hadn't.
It was 2 a.m. also.
Yeah. I was like, no, you're not progressing. So basically 3 days of contractions on and off. And then the last day was like, I don't know, 10 hours straight. And then I stopped progressing, and it was like 2:00 in the morning. And I was in back labor.
Her crazy ass wanted to keep going. And I was like, no, dude.
Not we me, are calling the midwife.
It. Yeah, no, I'm saying the midwife.
Yeah. So obviously, I had gotten in the tub. With her. We thought we were going to push. She didn't want to check me every 30 minutes or something like that.
She didn't want to discourage you.
She didn't want to discourage me. So she was just trusting that my body was progressing. But turns out like...
I think you knew what something wasn't right. You told her at one point too, you were like, I feel a clicking of bone on bone in my pelvis. And
I could hear
like,
the
It's like,
bones.
well, yeah, because he was stuck in there.
Yeah. So we rushed to the emergency room. It was the worst drive of my life. I mean, the level of like yogic work I was doing to stay calm and present with the contractions, I think they were exactly 1 minute apart.
Yeah. At that point, they were about a minute apart.
Yeah.
And you had been enduring that for like 3 hours straight already.
For 3 hours straight.
In back labor.
So bad. And so we get to the hospital. I'm literally like screaming in the wheelchair.
Yeah. It was the total like classic scenario. Yeah. It's like 2-3 in the morning. I remember, it's raining. And we're driving on the road, and the midwife literally was like, Matt, be careful driving because you're going to be stressed because she's going to be crying. I was like, okay, I got it.
45 minutes to the hospital.
So 45-minute drive, at 3 a.m, and Ash is like going through it.
So with the back labor, I couldn't sit down. Yeah. I could only lay on my side because of where he was pushing on my spine and on my tailbone. And it was specifically like my sacrum. And I had to like stand up, sit down, walk. Like I couldn't move. Like,
and then I had to massage your back and like put pressure on your back the entire time.
It felt like I was getting my lower spine and sacrum was getting crushed. Like literally a hammer was just like crushing my bones over and over again.
So if you are a woman about to go into labor, if you feel those things, it's probably not right. And if you know that your baby's in the wrong position, don't try to do it. Just personally,
I wouldn't recommend. No.
Didn't seem to be a right choice to make.
No. So then we get to the hospital. We get rushed in. That was like the worst. Oh my God. It was so bad. I get the epidural. Thank God.
Then you chilled out because you weren't in such pain anymore.
Oh,
you were like actually kind of euphoric.
I
you were
was
like,
so grateful.
I feel like it's finally going to be over.
For the nurses. I was like, you guys, like, thank God you exist. This was bloody hell. Like, I wish this upon nobody. I literally have PTSD from that experience. It was so bad. The level, I can still, like, talking about it right now, I can literally feel it in my sacrum. And I still have like phantom pains there. It was just so bad. So I get that epidural. I still don't know that I can't have a natural birth. I'm just thinking, okay, I'm going to sit here with the epidural. Eventually he's going to come.
Yeah. They said same thing. They're like, let's see if you progress now.
Yeah.
And let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And they said, we'll let you know. But then what? A whole night of that? Another 12 hours of that?
I actually degressed.
Yeah, you degressed.
Yeah, I went down to like 4 centimeters and the doctor was like, let me check you, all these things. And she came to the conclusion that he wasn't going to be able to come through my pelvis. And she said, I could be wrong, but why risk it? Like, I think he's going to get stuck. And if he does get stuck, it would be such a traumatic
way bigger emergency. Yeah.
We'd have to like break his arm to get him out. Like,
just crazy
if you're
shit.
stuck on a home birth, you're taking a risk of, we don't know what's going to happen because he's not able to come through your pelvis very easily. So there's something going on here. We already knew he was posterior.
And then let's just backtrack to us for a second. Throughout this whole experience, we're like in love, we're connected, we're good. And by the time we get to this part, we are just like, we're kind of laughing, being like, what is going on? Because the pregnancy was, like we said, so beautiful and love drenched and like positive. So this was just like, what is this level of surrender? And we hadn't slept for like 3 days. And we just were like, is this really, like the doctor literally coming in telling us this? We were just like, what is this
Like,
right
this is
now?
insane.
Like,
Yeah.
what is going on?
And I think at that point, like, I had gotten into such a deep surrendered space that I was just like, whatever we need to do
to be
to
done.
get him out
Yeah.
healthily, like I'm willing to do. And it's
Yep.
just so ironic because I had such a resistance to
Yeah,
this.
we did everything in our power to not have to do a
It's
cesarean.
just the irony of like life, you guys. Like when you have a resistance to something, it's usually because that's the thing you need to face. And so I was like, hey, this is my moment. Like I'm going to do the thing my mom did that I said I was never going to do. And I need to make this beautiful, not traumatic. Like that's what I need to do. And so I really wanted to keep my mentality and my headspace in a higher awareness and a higher level of consciousness where I wasn't a victim, but I felt empowered. And when you're going through birth, it's outside of your control. You have to accept like this is outside of my control. And the only thing that you have control of is your inner state of being, your mentality about it, your belief about it, your perspective of it. And so if that was the only thing I had control over, then I wanted to do that. I wanted to choose the narrative. And so I did. I just was like grateful. I was happy. I was positive. I was focusing on that I was getting help, that I was getting relieved of pain, that Atreyu was going to be safe. And instead of seeing this as like this traumatic, horrible deviation from my birth plan, I just felt like this was the best birth ever. Like it was the best thing ever. And my mentality, it was like, I was like gaslighting my old self of like, this is the most beautiful, perfect birth. And I went through it like that, I think, at that point.
I remember us laughing too, being like, look at a trait, because we believe when you have a child, your child is your teacher. Like we're his parents, we're going to steward him and be like, welcome to the earth. We'll show you how to do this earth thing. But on a spiritual level, we know he is our teacher. And that's a whole different paradigm that we'll probably talk about as the years go on. And so this was already, we did laugh about it. We said, oh, look, he's already teaching us like, oh, you thought this? Oh, watch this. Like he's already playing guru, playing his tricks, being like, oh, you thought you were going to have this experience, but I'm going to liberate you already. Mm-hmm. And so we laughed being like, I remember when we made the decision, because the doctor described the two scenarios. And it was so trippy because we literally asked her, like, tell us like what you would do or what. She said, I can't, because technically at this point you could go either way. And so she described the two ways.
Natural versus C-section.
Yeah. And if we want to keep trying this and that. And we were just like, wow. We laughed because we were like, do we really have to decide this right now? And then we both felt like we need to just be safe. We need to just do this
Basically,
choice.
choosing a natural birth would be coming from pride and attachment of like, I have to have it my way. Yes. It has to go the way I originally envisioned it, versus I let go of what I think is the right way to go through childbirth, and I surrender to what's best for Atreyu, and just let life be what it is. And these are the circumstances you're in, regardless of how you want it to be. And can you embrace that from a higher theme of love and acceptance, and realize it's not about the how, it's about how you go through it. It's not how he comes out, it's how you go through him coming out, go through his birth. And that's all of life as yogis. It's like, you're not going to be able to control your circumstances, but like you can have control over your inner state of being as you go through the circumstances that are outside of your control. And so we immediately knew this was a spiritual lesson, and that is how we were going to do it.
I remember now that you brought that back up, I remember us literally sitting there trying to evaluate this decision that felt impossible. And we just were like, all right, let's think about the themes here. If we were to hold this, we have so many signs telling us there's a risk to do it this one way. And the nurses and other people are literally telling us stories of people who stay staunch and the crazy stuff that unfortunately happens to the moms or the babies. And so we're sitting there being like, right. So it sounds like if we do that, that's pride and attachment. And we all know what happens with pride and attachment is we're going to probably go through some dramatic fall and it will be way worse. Or we be humble and we say, this was the last thing we were ever going to do, but it feels in our heart the safe, honest thing we should do, the humble admittance. And we gracefully and like in a liberated, like laughing way, we both were like, we have to do this.
Yeah.
And we felt like it was so trippy because the biggest thing you were resisting, I think we both felt like this massive wave of liberation of like, wow, And I think we also knew deep down in our heart too that it was going to be okay.
Yeah. So we went for that. And just to fast forward, like, you know, it was good. It was beautiful. We had like this really beautiful moment. We were just looking each other in the eyes the whole time. It was this very...
It was a bit trippy and traumatic for me.
Yeah, it was a moving
being
experience.
fully aware of what was going on. But yes, it was.
You were crying. I was crying.
The beautiful part between us was amazing for sure.
I couldn't hold him after he was born. I was shaking so much. Like my
body
jaw
was like in shock.
I was convulsed. Like my body was
in shock. Yeah.
Totally. Like I couldn't stop shaking for like an hour. So I couldn't even hold him, which was kind of sad.
It's a very interesting biology experience that was bizarre. And then knowing that on the other side of that curtain you were like being cut open, like it was a little bizarre. It was definitely a bizarre experience, but we profoundly connected through it.
You held him right after he was born, chest to skin.
Yeah,
I tried to, but I was shaking so bad.
And we did. You held him for probably a few minutes.
You had to hold him on me. I couldn't even keep my arms.
Yeah, you were like, hey, just take him. I'll just be with him. I'll be there in a minute.
Yeah, it was hard.
It was very, very interesting. But by the time they rolled you back out and you were sewed back up from the surgery and stuff, it was beautiful, and we all got to connect and be together.
So let's fast forward. We had this crazy experience. We had this, you know, profound spiritual like breakthrough of acceptance. We felt really like high from it. Like it was a total flip of, you know, us facing our attachments, going through this like crazy fear thing.
Yeah, it was like we went through this crazy unexpected experience together, and it was beautiful, but it was also
4 days
it was
of
like
just
it was
fever
like
dream.
Liberated trauma. It was like we went through a traumatic experience,
totally aware.
And that was a peculiar experience to do. I don't think I've ever done that before, where I'm going through my biggest life trauma, but I'm fully unaware as I'm going, fully aware and not affected and unattached as I'm going through it.
Seeing it as a very spiritual experience. Yeah.
Being in love, staying connected. That was definitely a trip.
Yeah, it was life-changing.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
So we get home, we're in bliss, we have our baby, but soon after I start having signs of postpartum depression. And I start to realize like the decision and the weight of the decision we made to have a child, and how much I was changing from having him. And I started to like not recognize myself or our life anymore. And I like saw this whole timeline like in front of us where I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew it was never going to be familiar the way it was. Like the life that we had before he came in, I like knew it was over. And I felt this extreme amount of grief. And at the time, it came out as like regret. Like, did I make a bad choice? Did I mess up everything? Like, because life was ending as we knew it, to my ego, then that meant life is over, period. Nothing good ever could happen again or something.
Well,
right?
Especially for you too, because now in retrospect, like I didn't think of anything after the labor. I was so fixated on just getting through the labor and making sure you were safe, he was safe. That was like all I could think about. So I hadn't thought about anything after that. I hadn't like mentally prepared for the lifestyle, what it's going to be like. And
we thought we did.
I think I thought of him being older, and I think I thought of all the things that most parents don't think about, which is like, hey, he's going to be old and talk to you, and he's going to be an adult, and he's going to be a teenager.
Like raising an adult, not raising a baby. I was
focusing on raising an adult, and like the whole baby phase, I think I just blocked out because I have no experience around babies. I have experience around kids. So I was like focusing on the part where all the parents complain.
Where he's 16.
Like the biggest complaint is that part when they're older. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good on that. Like I'm good with people. Babies, that's a whole different genre of thing, you know? And I think right away, you especially had to have felt that, because now in retrospect, we had to like feed him every 2 hours, which again, didn't know you have to feed a newborn every 2 hours, regardless of if they're sleeping or not. You got to wake them up and you got to feed them. And that's every 2 hours, 24 hours a day. So that means throughout the entire night. And so for you, especially, you were breastfeeding in the beginning. So I think I could only imagine now in retrospect, you were having to breastfeed and pump and breastfeed or whatever the heck the thing was that day or that round for like every 2 hours.
And then it takes 30 minutes to an hour. And then by the time I'm done in the
you
Vita,
get
I
like
do it
30
again.
minute break and you do it again. And so I think for you, especially in the beginning, you had to have felt like, whoa, like I am not even remotely myself anymore because look at what I do now. I just breastfeed all day.
Yeah.
And we're exhausted.
And yeah.
And then I think I was slower to realize all this because I was supporting you and all that, but he's not on me.
And
he's
I
not
just
on my
had a
body.
C-section.
Yeah,
I just
and you
went
had
through
the
labor. I didn't have any time.
Yeah, that made it trickier because you couldn't, like, what was it? 6 weeks healing time?
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't have any time to process what I had just went through.
Totally.
From the home birth.
Right into having a baby.
Yeah. The back labor. The old me could have taken months to just like digest what I just went through and like process it and come to some healthy place with it. And it was just like instantly. And if you're a mom, like you understand this.
It's so fast.
You're right.
We didn't expect that. So fast. You're just like, boom, you're mom now, you're dad now, you go.
Yeah. And so I immediately got hit with postpartum depression. I didn't realize it at the time. Now, here's the thing. We didn't have support.
I was just going to say, the massive mistake we made to make this story even crazier is we just went home, the two of us.
Yeah, we thought we want to just be alone.
Just us.
We didn't want other people involved in this like incubator phase. We just wanted to have like 6 weeks with him just alone.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, that was so beautiful. And then part of me is also like, maybe that was contributing to the depression because you weren't supported.
Yeah.
And maybe if you would have had support, you wouldn't have gotten as depressed.
And we would have got a little more rest maybe.
Yeah. I just wanted it to be special and I didn't want distractions and I didn't want anyone else's energy involved. And I just wanted us to have this like special time alone. And I had read all these natural home birth books about like other people kind of like taking the baby away or like,
and ruining the imprinting phase.
Dude,
We were so granola brainwashed. And obviously we, as Libras, like to find a middle way.
Yeah.
And in everything we've done in our life, we will usually try both extremes. And then we realize they're both
too extreme.
Off as one side or the other. It's actually a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And so I think we realized again in this moment, we were like, that was a little too far.
That was too far. So we were alone for 6 weeks. However, one thing I am proud of is I food prepped because we knew we were going to be alone. So for like 4 months up until
4 months of food.
For the first 4 months of pregnancy, we bought 2 freezers. I home cooked meals like crazy while I had 120-ish
meals.
Pre-made
and they were all
meals,
homemade,
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And
everything.
we would cook these, like I'd sous chef, we'd cook these massive meals and then we'd box them all up.
Everything, the healthiest food. I was psycho when I was pregnant.
That was cool.
I made so much food, it's insane. And so I had all my meals ready, but we were just alone with our frozen pre-made meals for 6 weeks. And the depression started to kick in. So for me, I immediately started to recognize like, oh gosh, like the life, that beautiful freedom we were just describing in the beginning of this conversation, that is over. Like we're never just going to be like waking up slow,
doing whatever we
having
want,
nowhere to go, nowhere to be, no obligations, doesn't matter what day of the week it is. Like we are fully on, fully needed. Like we went from 0 to 100. Like
from peak to bottom,
like boom,
extreme polar opposites.
You have to be 100% responsible, 100% devoted, 100% like on all the time. And that was just like such a big transition. It wasn't even like we had a normal life.
Way too dramatic.
And then we brought a kid into it. It was like we went from literally being on like vacation mode for years to like demanding mode instantly. And I think it was just like such a extreme, like one extreme to the other.
And you saw it right away. And for me, I was in denial and resisting it for probably like 6-7 months.
Mm-hmm. And so
I had no idea.
I expressed this like fear, this regret, this sadness. In retrospect now, I don't feel any of these things, like just to clarify. I love being a mom. I love being a family. I'm way past that and I'm so into it. But in the very beginning, I was in shock, and my shock made me afraid of the life I had chose, the life that this was a permanent decision that I waited so long to make. And I was in shock of the reality of what it was demanding of me. That made me fear that maybe I made the wrong choice and I couldn't handle this, and that I would miss my old life. And like, what did I do? I just like imploded everything we had built, and it's never going to be the same again. And that scared me at first. For you, when you heard me express I was like coming to you hoping we could like talk about it and that you would help me or like calm me down or like remind me why this was going to be good, or like put to rest my fears of like, you're all in, it's going to be good. Like, I love you. This is the best choice. Trust me. I was like looking for that stability because I was so lost, but instead it hurt you.
Big time. It freaked me out and hurt me.
Yeah, it hurt you. You thought I betrayed you.
I felt super betrayed because I remember verbatim saying, what was the point of waiting so long, being so conscious, talking about this for literally 2 years straight, if now all of a sudden we're just going to regret it? And I think I felt really like super fucked up from that.
And here's the worst part is like, neither of us were very aware of postpartum depression. Wasn't something that we
hadn't thought past labor. Yeah.
Like, I read all of these home birthing books. I had a midwife. I did all the classes, and not a single ounce of me had a preparation of like, what if you get postpartum depression? Yeah. I don't know why. And if I look back, I don't know if I go look at those. I threw all the books away because I have like trauma with home birthing now. But yeah, I don't know why that wasn't at the forefront of my prep. It's just like, I didn't think I would go through it, I guess.
Either it's the granola brainwashing of doing it the natural way, you don't get it.
That is so true.
I think that's part of it. I think the brainwashing is that, postpartum depression comes from the hospitals.
It's true, but I did have a C-section.
It doesn't though.
But see, I did because I didn't think I was going to have a C-section. So maybe like it wasn't included because my midwife was like, you're going to have this beautiful home birth.
But we had a blockage to it.
Only 5% of people end up in the hospital from a home birth. It's probably not going to be you. So like, you're going to have this like euphoric connection. But I did end up in a hospital.
Right.
I did end up with the postpartum depression, just like the thing I was trying to avoid. So I guess I didn't prepare adequately for the worst case scenario. Let's put it that way.
Well, we know that because we didn't plan really for a cesarean either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the first layer is, I think the brainwashing was, you're not going to have it, which is naive, because I think there's plenty of women who have hospital births who don't probably have
and people who have natural births that still have it too.
Who had natural births still have it. Exactly. That's why I'm saying I think that was a little too extreme of, again, we were very brainwashed into the granola mindset.
So you didn't recognize that I was having this condition like at all, and you took it so literally.
I was going to say the second reason is I think we just didn't think we would go through that. I didn't think because we thought we're so aware, we're so conscious, like we're not going to go through that. We'll nip that right away. And so I didn't even remotely plan or expect you to go there.
Yeah.
So my biggest mistake and feedback as the father going through this and the husband is, again, I didn't think of anything past labor. That was a big mistake. I think I was just so fixated on your safety that I couldn't go past it. I probably should have. The second thing is I took you seriously. Because I've always taken you seriously. It's literally, to make it even more interesting, like we literally, the podcast before this, when we last talked, we were on the wounded distrust and fear. And literally how I've learned to help you through your fear is to validate you. Say, yes, that could happen, or it's okay, honey, that's true, but it's okay, I'm here for you. Like, validate it. Because when I brush off your fears, that's never worked. That's what we literally just said in that last episode. Is I've tried just brushing off your fears my whole life, but it never works. It makes it worse. I have to actually meet you in the fear and validate it. So the irony is, validating this one felt impossible. So if I'm supposed to validate you saying that, and I'm supposed to agree and be okay with that, I could not even fathom it. And I think it freaked me out. And the irony thing
that happened is you did experience the same feelings as me eventually.
But it was too terrifying to
And it was too terrifying for you to admit, when really like it could have brought us together and we could have bonded through that.
Yes.
But really it was like you were the overcompensating version of fear, in a sense of like,
I'm like, bury that motherfucker now.
Like,
bury
don't
it. Do not go there.
Yeah. And it's like, we're not afraid of this.
Yes. And it is how I reacted to you. I think I was like, nope, stop it. like, no. And I was mad. And I was like, knock it off. Do not even go there. That is so twisted. We're not going to go there. We love him. He's beautiful. Look at him. He's amazing. This is incredible. This is exactly what we're supposed to do. And I think I just tried to bury that as quick as possible. So it created a
rift between us because you then at that moment, it was like I was like this enemy of darkness, and you were like trying to protect Atreyu from me.
Yes.
You were just like,
and I was like, whoa.
You were done with me. Like it was, and so I became very isolated, and then back to I had no support. So we were just alone, and this energy, like the isolation was insane. My postpartum depression like spiraled tenfold after that.
Yeah.
Like really
because
bad.
Then I was like your one and only support, and I was like had zero patience for you going into those headspaces.
Yeah.
And I think, again, had I known more about postpartum and had I been more aware, I would have maybe been more understanding. I wouldn't have taken you seriously.
Yeah.
I would have been more graceful. Yes. I would have been more graceful. I wouldn't have taken you, maybe not seriously, but literally. I wouldn't have taken you as literally. I would have been like, this is a feeling, this is a mental headspace that the hormone plummet is making you go into.
Yeah, you're like a victim of postpartum.
We're a team still against this hormonal tank now, like this plummet. We're still together. I love you. I will be there to comfort you and help you through this plummet.
Yeah, you're not going to get lost in this.
I was like thinking you are a perfectly normal, sane person, your normal self, just going there and saying that. And I was like, what? So that was a huge mistake. Because obviously you weren't your normal self. You weren't your normal headspace. And you needed a total different approach. And instead I met you with like fierceness when you needed gentleness. I met you with like repression when you needed like help processing. And that was, again, just one of the biggest blind spots.
And so from here,
huge learning lesson.
Our experience of having a baby then transformed into a marital problem. So we went from navigating, okay, now we're new parents, we have this baby, I need to heal from a trauma birth, I just had a C-section, now we have a newborn, and now the focus, like it layered, now we have a marriage issue. Yeah. And so it really created a rift between us. So then on top of everything we're navigating and how overwhelming our circumstances are, now we're like at odds with each other. And so that was really awful. And again, we're alone. We're on an island. Yeah. This is rough.
To make it more interesting too, it's like we were perfect parents together. This was another thing I've been learning is like, as weird it is, because I can compartmentalize. It's like as a father to him though, and as parents together, we showed up for him and it was like so beautiful and so special. But then in this compartment of me and you, it's so ironic. It was
like in the background.
Yeah, it's so ironic because as the parenting part, beautiful, annihilate everything we thought it was going to be. So special, so cute, so amazing, so loving. We worked through that so well.
We were with him both together 100% of the time for literally 9-10 months.
9-10 months. We did not work, which was a whole other thing.
Just the two of us, just taking care of Atreyu
and it was special.
Every day. Yeah.
And it was, and our camera rolls are filled with so many special moments.
We're 100% present with him. But then in the background, there's repression,
there's this trippy stuff between the two of us.
Yeah.
And so the irony is, becoming a parent, the irony is the hardest part wasn't with him, which I think some people, that's the biggest focus, is like being like taking care of the baby. That part we actually did just fine. But what it did to you and I totally caught us off guard, especially when we had just come off the highest highs of being so in love, so healed, so romantic, so connected. We were utterly blindsided by having this massive rift between us now.
Our relationship was at its peak of like connection. We had just released our relationship book. It was a huge success. We were a success together. We felt like we literally went through the whole journey of our book. Like 10 years together, we did the inner work of relationships for 10 years together, and we were at the peak. And again,
peak to plummet to bottom. Like it was so extreme.
And this is interesting now in retrospect for us. It's like within those circumstances, like if life is a game and these are levels, we mastered the level of being child free and just being a marriage. Exactly. Like we won at that game. Like we did it. now have a baby, and we are
starting
starting
over
over.
at the
And it's a
bottom.
new game. And now we
Yes.
have to go through the whole ladder of the themes
Go all through
all
the themes
over
again.
again. We have to face our rejection, our grief, our fear, our
Judgment.
anger, our judgment, our pride. And we're going through the whole thing all over again.
Yeah. So and that's exactly what it triggered, you know, like if we were to sum up in that moment, I was like totally going into, I guess we both were, because that postpartum put you in that dark place of rejection.
Yeah.
Like you were rejecting this life, rejecting him. And then it triggered me to go into rejection. I was like, well, I'm going to reject you.
Yeah.
And I am going to abandon you. Like
Yeah.
I am not okay with that.
Yeah.
And I think from then on to now, we have been healing and climbing out of that hole it put us in, and now trying to get back to that place of freedom. Like literally this morning you said, and you like wake up, you're starting to finally feel like you used to feel in our old life.
Yeah, 10 months later.
Yeah, it's like 10 months later. I think it's taken us so much time to repair and get out of what this brought out of us, and the interesting sides of ourselves that came out of nowhere.
So let's talk about the healing journey of like what we've been going through to like get, so now there's context of the struggle we were in. We finally recognized like how out of our element we were, and that we really need to make some serious changes, or else this is going to destroy us. Like,
and how we were not prepared.
Yeah.
We were not adequately set up to succeed.
yes,
for sure.
we need help. Number one, we can't do this alone. That was very humbling. We're not in the right environment. We're super isolated. We're out here on an island with no family in a very isolated, remote part of an island. We need support. I think
we also wanted more space. Houses in Hawaii tend to be really small. We needed
were
more
just
space.
claustrophobic.
Yeah, we needed more balance. Yeah, we need a lot of.
We couldn't get back to our healthy routines.
Yeah,
we needed to work again. Also,
yeah, and we also need work. That was a whole other element of this, is that our income was like substantially dropping over these months, which was creating this insane pressure on us eventually, because on top of
10
everything,
months of just being off, which was lovely, and we're so privileged that we got to have that experience, but also
psychologically
we need to do something and change something.
Yes.
And we need to get back to, you know, our flow of life of having work, having an income, and having healthy routines like my yoga practice, your gym, like being able to have like structure in our lives. And we weren't able to succeed at that in the environment we were in without support.
So then, to make it more interesting, we then decided we need to move, and we need to move to South Carolina, which is 4,600 miles away from Hawaii.
Yeah.
And we need to figure out how to sell our house, buy another one, transfer our cars all the way there, and our stuff and our cats.
We have to redo our whole business model because we're registered
while
in
we're
Hawaii.
going through all this, we need to figure out how to do that at the same time.
Yeah.
Again,
So,
major mistake. Probably should have done that first before having the baby. Probably should have moved to, like, we didn't know. We didn't know.
Too much.
I never wanted to be, like, we always wanted to just be independent and free. We didn't want to necessarily, I'll just own my part. I didn't want to live by family. I wanted to just be in our own flow, in our own zone. I didn't want to do that. Now I see the value of family, and I see the humility of like, okay, I need help. I need people. I'm sorry I've been so like cut off. And I think that now it was like, okay, we got to move. And then we were like, okay, I guess we have to move by one of our parents. And this is just where your parents happen to choose to retire. So we're like, okay, I guess we're going there. And like, none of it was like, it was reactionary. None of it was by choice, like consciously. It was just like, we have to do what we have to do, which is like literally the first biggest lesson of parenting almost, I feel like, which goes all the way back to the cesarean. It's like, we have to do what we have to do. And I feel like when you're used to making choices out of what's your highest joy to doing what you have to do,
which is
those
accountability.
Totally different energies. And so we go from making choices out of bliss versus out of responsibility. And it's like, it doesn't matter what your freaking bliss is. You need to just do this. This is the responsible
decision.
And it doesn't matter that this is going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have to move all that and figure all that all out.
You have to do it anyway.
It doesn't matter that your relationship's uncomfortable. You better freaking figure it out and heal it.
Yes.
So
we did.
So we did all those things. That's why we've been absent. Because we have been very busy psychologically, emotionally, like mentally, physically. It has been a freaking journey, but we're finally coming back reporting from the other side of it of, whoa, we have been on a hero's journey.
So we made the decision. We put our house up for sale. We found a house online, sight unseen.
Did a 3D tour, said, good enough, let's go.
Good enough, let's go. My parents are building their retirement home here. So they actually moved into our house before we did, got it a little bit established for us. While their house is getting built.
Received the cats.
Yeah, received the cats. And then we got here. And now we're all here together. And their house is, still being built. And
they might be here for another couple months.
Yeah. And they're going to be about 30 minutes away. And it's been so lovely to have them support us through.
So that we could do a podcast because Atreyu is being watched by grandma.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. They're upstairs taking care of Atreyu right now. And holy crap, what a difference has it made? We've had time to work on our marriage. We've had time to, re-get into our workflow. We've had time to get healthy again, get our routines. And it's been a life-changing
and
thing for us.
The psychological weight lifted of like, okay, we're not alone.
We're not alone. Yeah.
We have assistance and we have help.
Oh my gosh. And so throughout this journey of like getting here, it was like we kind of crashed out when we got here because it was almost like when we were in Hawaii, we didn't have the capacity to deal with our internal state because it was so demanding.
You're in crisis mode.
Stay taking care of Atreyu and alone. Yeah. I feel like when we got here, that's when we both like fell apart. Like it was like, what the heck did we just go through?
It's the purge, right? It's like you're the adrenal dump. It's like you're in fight or flight. Adrenaline's running you every day. Then you finally get to safety and then your body just tanks.
Yeah. And I got sick. Atreyu got sick. It was just like, oh my gosh, like what did we it's like the PTSD of like being in a war zone. It was like we got here and then we just crashed. And
for like the first month.
Yeah. And then after that, we've been getting
slowly
back to
rebuilding.
Ourselves. And remembering who we are, getting back to our core values, repairing, forgiving. One of the biggest lessons that, we're realizing truly is like you have to forgive yourself and each other for who you were in like crisis because the worst part of you comes out and it's not who you are. It's your wounded self that's in survival mode, and we can't hold ourselves or remember each other in that light of like who you were during the worst chapter of your life. Not that having Atreyu was the worst chapter, but like the ego death that we went through, the trauma of the labor, the experience of it all. It was like we're so overwhelmed and so stressed and so unsupported that we reverted to some serious defense and coping mechanisms.
Well, and I think the most important thing too is, again, it wasn't about necessarily him and becoming parents and stuff. It was what that accidentally did to us and what sides of ourselves that came out in response to being under that level of pressure, and then doing and saying things to each other that like the story you told, like I under that level of pressure and stress, I did not handle that well at all. I totally reverted to my own coping mechanism, which is to overcompensate for that fear and be like, nope, I'm not going to feel that. So I think the biggest thing that was fascinating to witness and now have to sit with, and like I have to do a lot of repairing because we went into our own fight or flight mechanisms towards each other. Again, not towards him. Like something about it was able to compartmentalize of like, he is innocent, so he doesn't get any of that. But man, did we let each other experience it. And so it's been this fascinating thing to now repair all that and say, okay, wow, I'm sorry for who I became. One of the things to build off what you're saying, the forgiveness thing is, and in order to get to that forgiveness, I think what a breakthrough we had a few weeks ago that was really beautiful and I think pivoted us in a big way is I think we both finally saw, if I was you, literally you, not me as you, no, you, if I was literally you, I can 100% see why you said, felt, and did all those things. And then you were like, I can see how from your perspective as you, not you as me, it's like, no, as you, with your trauma, with your background, with your experience, as yourself, I can see why you felt and responded the ways you did based on your experience. And I think that allowed us the grace to be like, thank you, and I'm sorry. Like, it's not to excuse it. It's to say, I understand why you responded that way and what it brought out, and it scared you and it made you react this way. And then I think because we had that level of grace, it allowed us to then say, now here's what I wish I would have done and will do now. And it allowed us the grace and to have that space to respond differently and hopefully learn from it and heal from it, so that if we ever do have another blindsiding experience like this again, we can maybe this time remember this lesson and go through it differently.
Yeah, we're big advocates of your relationship is going to have issues and problems, and that's not the deciding factor of whether this is a healthy relationship or not, whether you have this kind of crash out, problems and this trauma. It's how do you repair from it? Can you repair from it? And can you grow from it? And that's the determining factor of if your relationship is healthy. So I think our perspective is to always have patience when we go through episodes like this, because we're hoping that there's going to be some sort of healing and conclusion that we are trying and striving to get through, and it will all be worth it when we get to the other side, because we will grow from it. And to not give up so quickly, even if it's months, even if it's years, I don't know like what people are going through, but if you have experienced the hardship of your marriage from having a child, hopefully this episode gives you hope that there's a reason why you guys fell in love. There's a reason why you decided to have a family, and you are going through hardship, and there is a way to recover from it if you're both willing to forgive, to have that empathy, to have the understanding, and to repair. Like you can become even closer after it.
That's what I was going to make sure and say too, is the irony is the level of trust and closeness you have after going through that is actually stronger, because you love your partner more because you see how capable they are. We all think that, I'm going to love and trust you the most when you just respond perfectly all the time. Then I'm going to be like, wow, I love and trust you so much. But in my opinion, from going through this, true trust is seeing someone break, because we're human and it's normal. And you can trust them that they will always recover, always repair, always take accountability. That to me is a true sign of trust, because the other one's never been tested. It's like if you just always think your partner's perfect. And I'm like, well, what happens when you finally don't think they are, or they do something? What are you gonna trust them anymore? You're gonna say, oh, done. I don't trust you at all anymore. And it's like, that's an impossible standard. So I feel like a healthier connection in trust is to be like, oh no, like, we've broken many times, but we know and love each other that we will always get through it. Like the other day we were just saying to each other, I know and believe you will always find your way back. And, I want you to know that about me too. Like, I think I was literally telling you, I was like, you have to know by now that no matter what I'm going through, I will figure it out eventually. And if you're patient, you trust that my core values will get me out of this.
It's not going to be perfect the first time. And that's something that we have been going through, like even in this recovery journey, like there's relapses.
Or triggers or of PTSD our triggers. Of it.
Yes. And it's like, we're really good at identifying the chapter we're in. Like we're in the crisis. We're in the tragedy right now. Okay. We're in the repair. Like we're in the relapse. Like we're in the recovery. And it's like, we know where we are on the journey.
We're in the high. We're in the building.
We're in the building phase.
We've been in so many other phases in the 12 years of our life.
It's having perspective and
knowing what chapter you are in.
And actually having acceptance for that chapter instead of denial that you shouldn't even be going through it. Like just because you say sorry, just because you have awareness of what you did, just because you can talk about it doesn't mean your actions are gonna immediately change. Like it's almost like you're learning a new skill. Like let's say you're learning to play an instrument. Like just because you can conceptualize something doesn't mean you're gonna hit it and nail it every time you try to play that song. Like you're gonna F it up. And so we have the intention of repairing our relationship, and we're getting better and better and better. And then there's also like mistakes being made, and then we repair again.
And then there's eventually mastery.
Eventually mastery. And we've been through this, I think, enough times with each other in other elements of our life. We've gone through seasons of financial instability, of home instability, of relationship instability. And now we're doing it like with a kid, and we're like, okay, now we're parents, and this is a new chapter that we are struggling at in the beginning, not struggling to be parents to him, but like our new relationship with each other. And now we're going through that same thing of like the learning curve of effing it up and then trying to figure it out, repair. And we know what stage we're in, and that awareness is helping us.
So we're going to have to probably do like a part 2 of this topic, and then talk about more maybe about all the lessons we've been learning becoming a parent. And I think this does a really good job though for now of summing up the journey and what we've been going through. And we know that we are in a rebuilding phase right now. We are in a starting from the bottom. We're just assuming like it's like our relationship is just starting again because it is new. It is new because we are parents now. That's a different relationship. It's not a child-free relationship. Like we said, we mastered the child-free relationship. Now we're beginners again. So we, like Ash said, we have gone through so many chapters where we're beginners again at something. And so we're not cool. We're not awesome. We don't pull it off right the first time. We don't say the right things. Like we know right now that we are in a rebuilding phase. And to make it more obvious, we're in a brand new home. We have to repaint it, re-renovate it.
We're in a new state.
We're in a new state, new place. We have to rebuild literally,
we're literally
physically.
having to start our business over because we changed states.
Yeah, we're having to revamp. Yeah, I'm literally having to refile the business and create a brand new business with the IRS all over again. It's like we're having to restart everything. Like everything's restarting.
So this is a new chapter, and we're doing the inner work all over again because it's a new game. It's like we beat the boss in the last game. Child-free life, we won. We did it. And now it's like next level. And we are starting from the very beginning. And we're going to master it because we're both committed to it. Which
means we're going to have a lot to share as we keep learning these lessons.
Yes. And so I love you. This has been a crazy journey. I'm proud of our commitment to doing inner work together, to growing through this, to not giving up, because there sure as hell were many moments where I think we both wanted to, and we had questioned ourselves and our decision. But having this work gives us a foundation and a guiding principle in our life of what our core values are and who we want to be as people. And I think that literally has saved us in our darkest moments. So I'm so grateful to have the inner work in our lives.
Yes, likewise. And I think one of the last things too to say is the irony was we knew that this was our next stage of growth. In other words, like we knew it was the next level. I don't think we realized how hard it was going to be. I thought we were going to stay as mastered as we were in the last level.
Just bring a kid into it. And just
bring him into it.
No.
And it's like, no. Next level you're a beginner at. And so I think it's done exactly what we knew our soul's intuition knew. This is exactly what you need. Because look, it's exposing all this growth and learning and healing we still need to do. And it's helping us uncover new levels of maturity and new levels of strength and connection. And so, I'm totally grateful because without it, I don't know what, I'd just be flailing. I wouldn't know what is going on. I wouldn't know how to identify it and see it.
I saw a statistic that 50% of marriages that get a divorce end in the first year of having a baby, of having their first child or having a child.
And now I get it.
I get it. I understand why. And to all the parents out there in marriages with children, like our hearts go out to you. Like you are true heroes. And
especially if you have more than one, we all think that you are like, you have superpowers or something. Like, I don't know how you do that.
Like we commend you. You're doing the hard work. Like hang in there, never give up. Your family's worth it. Your marriage is worth it. Your kids are worth it. Like you can do this. Don't give up.
And we have so much to keep talking about on these topics of what we've already started to see come out of us, and how we could see how all the classic things that happened at, like Ash is bringing up the divorce thing, like there's so much to keep saying on these topics of what this has done to our relationship and how we can see all the different timelines and understand why other people take the timelines they take, because now we're like, oh, I get it. I guess if we never healed, we would have taken that too. Or if I would have stayed in that mindset.
Or just one of us, right?
Yeah, or one of us would have stayed in that mindset. This is why this happens. Like we get it now, and we have
and
so
to those
much
of you
to
who have
talk
gotten
about.
into divorce because
Yeah,
of
like,
stuff like this,
now
like,
we get it.
we understand, and like
Yep.
if there was one partner who got lost, got
Yeah,
stuck,
and
never
they never
could get
came
out.
back.
Yeah, we get it. We
get
understand.
it. Now we get it. And so there's so much to say. So I guess we're definitely gonna have to do part 2. This is just gonna be the podcast from now on. I guess
we're just gonna keep talking about this. So thanks for tuning in.
Yep.
We missed you guys. We are hopefully gonna be getting back on a
We
regular.
are rebuilding.
We're rebuilding on a regular schedule
Yep.
and filming more often. So until next episode, thank you so much for tuning in.
Yep.
Namaste.
Namaste.